Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Gyan Tivrandasya Jnananjanashlakya Chakshurudriyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Manovestam Savidhamena Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we'd like to welcome all of you to this special program this evening. So we have two topics today. One will speak about Lord Chaitanya's pastimes, and his pastimes are unlimited. And the other is a presentation on a wonderful opportunity to go back to God. It's a shortcut. Will you hear about that? Yes. We will tell you later, okay? Okay, is that right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you know, Niranjandas for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his pastimes are unlimited. The scriptures remind us that if you want to advance spiritually, the mind has to be controlled. And as you heard in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said, Chanchalai Mana Krishna. Mind is very hard to control. More hard than the wind and more difficult to control than the wind. But still, there are means by which you can control the mind. And if you control the mind, you'll be able to control the senses also. And one positive way to control the mind is to think about the pastimes of the Lord. The pastimes of the Lord are not material, just like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame devyam. My appearance and disappearance are both divyam. Divyam means that which is beyond the modes. Just as when Krishna appeared, he appeared in his transcendental 400 form, beautifully ornamented and decorated. Have any of you heard of in history a child being born with 4 hands, with jewelry in his body and silken robes? But then when he was requested to transform himself into an ordinary child, he did that with no difficulty at all. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, being the Supreme Lord, displayed many wonderful pastimes. So today we'll briefly discuss the Lord's pastimes in South India. And it is said that by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, difficult things become easy. And without his mercy, the opposite, easy things become difficult. By the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a blind man can see, a deaf man can hear, a dumb man can speak, and a lame man can cross mountains. Can you all hear me clearly in the back? So by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the inconceivable becomes conceivable. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has just converted a staunch impersonalist by the name of Gurupadasharay to the path of personalism. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very strongly spoke against the impersonalists, and he forbid his followers from mixing with the impersonalists, because the impersonal concept of God is an insult to God. You have no form, no hand, no legs, no eyes, nothing. You're formless. Man is made in God's image, as the Bible also says. So, Gurupadasharay was converted to the path of personalism, and then the Lord told his devotees, I want to go on a tour of southern India. And the devotees were in a state of shock. Why? The Lord was going to leave them and go to southern India. Gurupadasharay requested the Lord, please stay for 5 more days before you depart. So the Lord is controlled by his devotees. That is the beauty of devotional service. The Lord gets controlled by his devotees. And the Lord is anxious to serve his devotees also. So the Lord agreed to stay on for 5 more days. And then, after 5 days, Lord Niranjandas said, but you can't travel alone. In one hand you'll be having your items, and then in the other hand will be the beads. You need an assistant. The Lord wanted to travel alone, but Lord Niranjandas insisted to take somebody. And the Lord took a servant called Krishna. So they were traveling. The Lord Chaitanya was singing this. Krishna, 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 hey, Krishna, 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 Rakshama. So he was singing this all along. And when he was traveling, people from great distance would come to see him. And by seeing him, they would get surcharged spiritually. And they would all begin to chant and dance. And then when these individuals would go back to their respective villages, the others, by seeing them, would also begin to chant and dance. So, this way, Lord Chaitanya converted virtually the entire area of South India to the path of Vaishnava. While the Lord was traveling, he was greeted by a devotee called Kurma. Kurma was a Brahmin, but spiritually educated. So the Kurma Brahmin invited Lord Chaitanya to his house, and the Kurma Brahmin said, I'm so fortunate that the Supreme Lord has come to my house. He washed his feet, distributed water to his family members, and then he made a request to the Lord. He said, Mighty Lord, I'm tired of living at home in this Vyasa life. Please take me with you. I want to travel with you. And the Lord said, so Kurma Brahman was saying, he was a family man with wife and children. He was saying, I'm tired of staying at home. I want to travel with you. And more or less leave his family. But the Lord said, no, there's no need to travel with me. Stay where you are. But do the following. Chant Hare Krishna and preach the glories of Hare Krishna. Study the scriptures and preach the message of Gita and Bhagavatam. And the Lord said, if you do this, namely these 2 activities, chanting Hare Krishna and spreading the message of Gita and Bhagavatam, then the Lord said, You will never be separated from me, and I will never be separated from you. So that's a very practical instruction. Sometimes when people are getting close to the Krishna conscious movement, the family members get disturbed. But there's nothing to be disturbed. Here is a written proof of our philosophy. Lord told the Karma Brahman, chant Hare Krishna, and preach the glories of the holy name, and chant and preach the message of Gita and Bhagavad. So chanting Hare Krishna and studying these books and distributing the knowledge of these books is one of our prime activities. Kali Kali Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. And it is said in the scriptures, the Lord incarnates in His holy name. In the Updeshamrita, composed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami were one time holding very important positions in society, but they abandoned that position and they were personally instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the philosophy and instructed to write books. And they wrote many books. Sri Rupa Goswami wrote a book called Sri Updeshamrita. So in the 7th verse of the Updeshamrita, presented in English under the title of Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami says, the holy names of the Lord are sweet like sugar candy. The pastimes of the Lord are sweet like sugar candy. The pastimes, the form of the Lord is sweet. But we are not able to relish the sweetness because of one factor. And what is that one factor? Disease. Oh, there's no joyness in Canada. Because of the disease of, to quote Rupa Goswami, avidya. Avidya means ignorance. Because the holy name is sweet. The holy name is coming from the spiritual world. It's not coming from the material world. And the Lord incarnates in His holy name. Nama Chintamne Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nidhi Mukto Penatam Nama Namina. The holy name is like a touchstone. Anyone who chants, knowingly or unknowingly, he benefits. We don't realize that. I've told this story in other places. And then when Prabhupada first went to India with the Western disciples, it created quite a stir in India. For the first time the Indians had seen Westerners in devotional robes. So one top actor made a movie called Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, which I believe was a big hit. The positive thing in the movie was the holy name was chanted in the whole movie. That's what they were telling us. The negative thing in the movie was it completely misrepresented our philosophy. It showed that we take drugs, feel high, and then we chant. So devotees were talking to Prabhupada. We should file a legal case against him. It's completely misrepresented our philosophy. Prabhupada said, no, nothing will be lost. People will hear the holy name and benefit. So Prabhupada wasn't so alarmed at all. Years later, a few years ago, I initiated a devotee in America. And I asked him, how did he become a devotee? And we asked devotees often. So he said when he was a young kid, he saw this movie, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. And he was so fascinated by the Hare Krishna melody that wherever he got an opportunity, he would run to hear that melody. And when he came to do his PhD in America, he got in touch with the devotees. He's become a nice devotee now. But the introduction was through a movie that reminisced with the our philosophy. So you don't know how many more people are in this category. So the holy name is Chintamani, like a touchstone. Whoever chants knowingly or unknowingly, he gets the benefit of chanting the holy name. So, and the holy name is not different from the Lord. So that due to the influence of avidya, we're not attracted to the holy name. Because and Prabhupada in the purport of this verse talks about joinders. I don't know if you have joinders from Canada. It's more a tropical disease. When you have joinders, and even if you serve a sugarcane juice, you won't be able to appreciate the sweetness. Just like sometimes you have temperature, fever, and even when you have fever and someone gives you something very palatable, you won't be able to relish it because of the fever. So this avidya or nescience is manifesting itself through how? Who knows? How does avidya exert its influence? It manifests its influence through lust, anger, greed, and we hate. When we talk about the anarthas, what are the anarthas? Kam, krodh, lobh, moha, masaya. So avidya is acting through lust, anger, greed, envy. So these are the anarthas. And anartha means also, which is unwanted. So these are not wanted in our character, in our life. We've got attached to them. So, due to the power of avidya, we are not attracted to the holy name. When it's time to chant, we fall asleep. Why? We've never seen anyone fall asleep in front of a prasadam place. Because that's more attractive. So because of the disease of avidya. Now the next question is, okay, I have this disease. Is there any cure to this disease? In the material world, you go to a doctor. Doctor says, you have this type of cancer. And you say, is there a cure to this? He says, sorry, no cure. Isn't it? There's so many diseases, I've talked to many times, that doctors can't even identify. They can't even understand. So, we are all suffering from the disease of avidya. So, is there a cure? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Deveshu gunamai mama maya durataya. To overcome illusory energy is very difficult. So someone may say, Krishna himself was saying it's difficult, then how do you expect me to surrender? But Krishna also says, if you surrender to me, then you'll be able to overcome. So Krishna, Rupa Goswami says, if, however, we chant the holy name attentively, then the disease of avidya will be cured and we'll be able to relish the sweetness of the holy name. So the answer is, yes, the holy name is sweet. The holy name is our most attractive service. Many times devotees want to know, what can I do for you? How can I serve? So I always tell them the first service you can do, and the best service is to get attached to the holy name. And how do you get attached to the holy name? Not by reading books, that's helpful, but by chanting the holy name. As we chant, you get attached, to the holy name. So the holy name of the Lord is sweet. And unfortunately in Kali Yuga, there's so many distractions, isn't it? And the distractions are increasing or decreasing. Thanks for the smartphone, social media, Facebook. I just saw Facebook stock going down, maybe good news. Anyway, devotees can use it in service to the Lord. So there's so many distractions, and distractions are just increasing. So the holy name should be chanted attentively. That helps cleansing the heart. So Lord Chaitanya told the Kurma Brahmin, chant the holy name, preach the glories of the holy name, read the Gita and the Bhagavatam, preach the message of Gita and Bhagavatam. But you can only preach the message if you also know what the contents is. In other words, read the Gita and Bhagavatam. So then Lord Chaitanya left Kurma Brahman's house and he proceeded further. There was another devotee called Vasudeva Vipra. Vasudeva Vipra was suffering from leprosy. His whole body was full of worms. But he was so magnanimous, so compassionate, that when a worm would fall off his body, he would lift it and put it back on his body. Can you imagine? How compassionate. When a worm would fall off his body, he would lift it and put it back. And his whole body was releasing such bad smell that if he was walking on the left side of the road, people would cross over to the right side. So Vasudeva Vipra heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was residing in Kurma Brahman's house. So he hurriedly came to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when he reached there, he saw that Mahaprabhu had already left, departed. So he was grief-stricken, shocked. He almost fainted. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had done us for the Supreme Lord. He could understand that Vasudeva Vipra is very unhappy because the Lord has departed. So he came back to see Vasudeva Vipra. He embraced him very warmly. And when he embraced him, his whole disease disappeared instantly. And he became a handsome young man. And the pus, the blood, the foul smell, everything disappeared. And he became a handsome young man. So Vasudeva Vipra was concerned. He was concerned that I may not become proud, because minutes ago he was so heavily diseased that no one would come close to him. And now by the mercy of the Lord, he becomes such a handsome young man. So he knew that this was possible due to the causeless mercy of the Lord. And he recited a verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto, a verse that was recited by the Sudama Brahmin. You probably know the story of Sudama Brahmin. Sudama Brahmin was materially a very poor Brahmin. He just had one dhoti, and his wife had the bare necessities of life. But the Sudama Brahmin was happy. That's the nature of a Brahmin. He's always satisfied, he's always peaceful. Poverty did not disturb him. His wife was also satisfied. But she knew that her husband was a rich friend. So she was trying to persuade him. Why don't you go and meet your rich friend in Dwarka? Krishna lived as a cowherd boy in Vrindavan, but in Dwarka he had 16,108 palaces. And the fact that palaces existed was confirmed by the archaeological department of India, or the government of India, that there's some heavy research on this area about 25 years ago. So she would often say, you have a rich friend, why don't you go and meet him? Just like in normal society, if you have a rich friend, you try and take advantage and get a good business deal or some favor. So, being inspired and requested by his wife, Sudama Brahman decided, okay, I'll go to Dwarka. But he said, I can't go alone. No, I can't go empty-handed. It's a normal practice when you see a sage, you walk with some present. I can't go empty-handed. Is there anything in the house that I can take as a gift? And his wife said, no, we have nothing at home. They were so poor. But she had good neighbors. And she took some ship rice, tied it in a cloth, and gave it to her husband. Okay, this is your present for your rich friend. So Sudama came all the way to Dwarka, and he told the guard of the Lord's palace, to tell the Lord at Dwarka that Sudama has arrived. The Lord at once recognized Sudama. He told the guard, send him in. You're going to see a big man, you have to clear it. So the Sudama Brahman came in, and the Lord knew this man's a Brahmin. He made him sit with respect, wash his feet. And the two recalled their childhood pastimes, how they were both in the ashram of Sanipati Muni. And without asking any favors from the Lord, Sudama headed home. As he was heading home, he was just mentally thinking, I came all the way on the persuasion of my wife, and I didn't ask my little friend for any favors. What am I going to tell my wife now? He was just thinking. We also read in the Bhagavad Gita, Ishwar Sarva Bhutanam Hedesha Rajana Deshati. Krishna is residing in everyone's heart. So the Sudama Brahman headed home. And when he reached his home, what did he find? The hut had become a palace. The hut in which he lived was now a palace. And his wife was so accustomed to wearing torn saris, was wearing an expensive Banarasi sari, silk sari, with ornaments and so on. So then Sudama said, this has all been possible by the mercy of my friend. And he said, who am I? A sinful friend of the Supreme Lord, who is full of six opulences. So the Sudama Brahman knew that this opulence that he had realized is due to the mercy of his rich friend. So Vasudeva Vipra, when he saw that his disease was cured and he has now become this healthy, handsome man, he knew this was made possible by the mercy of the Lord. So he was concerned. Now, what do I do? I may become proud. Generally we see that if someone is very rich, he tends to become proud, is that right? If someone is very handsome or beautiful, he or she tends to be proud. Someone is very materially educated, he tends to be proud. If you have some opulence, you tend to be proud. So Sudama Brahman did not want to become proud. The nature of a devotee is, you know that pride is a stumbling block on the spiritual effort. So, Sudama Brahman, he asked the Lord, how can I remain humble? And the Lord said, chant Hare Krishna and read and preach the glories of Gita and Bhagavatam. And if you do these things, I guarantee you always remain humble. So Prabhupada in the purport says that just like Sudama Brahman was rescued, similarly the devotees of the Krishna consciousness movement have also been rescued. And as a result, they should all engage in what? Preaching. And what does preaching mean? Book distribution. So I understand that many of you have gone today. How many of you went on book distribution today? Okay. All the others are not there. So preaching is very, very important. And our Acharya have instructed us to engage in this activity. So this is the second part of our presentation today. Would you hear a nice verse from the Bhagavatam? I'm sure you've never heard this verse before. This verse was identified only recently by some people. This is a verse from the 12th canto of the Bhagavatam that describes the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam, as you know, is a ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. Vyasadeva, we spoke about Vyasadeva in the morning lecture, and yesterday was his appearance day, Guru Purnima. Vyasadeva had compiled the vast Vedic literature, but Vyasadeva was still feeling dissatisfied. He felt that there's some vacuum in his effort. And he was meditating. What's lacking? What have I left out? And as he was meditating, Narada Muni appeared on the scene. Narada Muni is one of the 12 Mahajans. Saying Buddhanada Sammo, Kamara Kapila Mano, Paladava Jadago Bhismo, Budhiri Vaya Sakama. So there are 12 recognized spiritual authorities, and one of them is Narada Muni. Narada Muni has one-point agenda. Give Krishna's name, Krishna's message to everyone. Whether it's Bengali, the hunter, or Dhruva. So Narada Muni told him, you have not exclusively presented the path of pure devotional service. That's why you are not satisfied. In the Vedas, there is discussion of bhakti, but there is also discussion of karma kind of activities and so on. Whereas in the Bhagavatam, from beginning to end, it focuses on one theme, pure devotional service. The Bhagavatam, just like sugarcane, you bite it from the top, extreme corners, it is sweet. So Bhagavatam, when you open the first canto and the 12th canto, they're all sweet and nectarian. So in the 12th canto, there is the following, in the 12th canto, is a description of the glories of Bhagavatam, and the following verse appears. This is 12th canto, chapter 13, text 13. How many of you have the Bhagavatam sets at home? How many of you have, our devotees are very miserly. How many of you have the new sets and not the old 30-year-old sets? How many of you have the new Bhagavatam set? Okay. And how many of you read the Bhagavatam sets occasionally? And how many of you read the Bhagavatam sets regularly? Okay. So this is the verse. Canto 12, chapter 13, text 13. Prostapadya purnamasyam emasena samamitam tadiyo bhagavatam sayati paramam gatim. If on a full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. Want to repeat after me? If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. What a shortcut to go back to Godhead. It's a new shortcut that devotees didn't discover before. Okay, purport. One should praise Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne because it is the king of all literature. On the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, the sun, which is compared to this kind, king of literature, is present in the conscious view. Anyway. So this full moon day that the Bhagavatam is talking about, this year is on September 26th. No?
4 and 5, in India is 25, here is
25.
25. EBT is publishing 24 and 25, 2 words.
Yeah. It's going to be on September 24th and 25th. Basically what this verse says is the following. If on the Bhadra full moon day, you present this Bhagavatam set to yourself, you can also do it to yourself. In case you don't want to do it to your neighbor. If on the Bhadra full moon day, if you present this set to yourself or anybody else on a golden throne, BBT in America has also ordered thousands of golden thrones. Some company in South India is making it. So you'll get, along with the Bhagavatam says, the golden throne. So if you do that, present it to someone, then that will help you to achieve what? Transcendental destination. In other words, on this Bhadra Purnima Day, which this year will fall on September 25th, in India it is September 24th. Yeah, 24th. 24th. In North America it's on September 4th, so you can order the sets, keep the set ready, and on September 24th, either you can deliver it to yourself or give it to someone and you'll obtain the supreme transcendental destination. So this is a strong incentive. The Prabhupada said, the Bhagavatam is so powerful that even if somebody reads just one shloka, he can go back to Godhead. And the Srimad Bhagavatam, as you know, translated by Prabhupada, is now available in almost all the major languages of the world. In Pakistan, I oversee Pakistan also. In Pakistan we are now translating the 4th canto of the Bhagavatam in Urdu, and people are reading it in China and other parts of the world. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is not ordinary literature. And the Lord is saying, anyone who distributes this book, this set, on Bhadra Purnima Day, will be able to reach the supreme transcendental destination. So this is a very good opportunity for all of us to make spiritual advancement. I mean, as we said in the lecture earlier, the Lord told Parma Brahman and Vasudeva Vipra to chant and preach the glories of the Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So this opportunity is once in a blue moon. And if all of you, I was in Seattle, and just in one lecture, almost everyone in the audience booked a set. And wherever we've gone, devotees have responded very positively. So we'll be talking about this tomorrow also, but we're just presenting it. You like the idea? Yes. And how much is the Bhagavatam set?
Maharaj, is 351, includes the throne, the special throne next time.
Special discount. $3,000 set reduced to $300. How much is the price?
51 only.
$351 with a golden throne. And a golden throne, as I told you, being made in South India. And the BBD has ordered thousands of... So this is a very good opportunity. The Bhagavatam is so powerful that if you take a set, you keep it in your house, and even if you don't read it, you're getting benefit. And if you read it, then you get 1,000 times more benefit. So our request was, you all can order these sets. Obviously, if you want to deliver these sets on Bhadra Purnima Day, which is on September 25th, you'll have to order the sets ahead of time. And we believe the demand is more than what we have in supply. So if you want, first come, first serve. If you want it, you should. How many of you would like to take a set of Srimad Bhagavatam or the presentation of Bhadra Purnima Day? How many of you would like to order a set? Only 2? 3? That's all? I thought we would have 2 hands up. At least 2 sets were each good. Huh? So how many of you do you understand the special offer? Actually, Krishna is making this offer. The Bhagavatam was composed by Vyasadeva. Krishna is making it. So those of you who want to take advantage of this nice opportunity, we can order from you.
We only got 60 thrones as a part of the PPT North America. Everybody took their shares, so our share is only 60.
Oh.
So only first 60 will get the throne.
Just Toronto or all of Canada?
Just Toronto.
So there's limited supply. So I want to request all of you, this is a very nice opportunity to distribute the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam itself talks about distribution on Bhadra Purnima day. So it's a nice opportunity. At least in all the temples I've gone to and talked about this, almost all the initiated devotees and devotees have responded very favorably. So, take part in this. So any questions? You want to say something about that? So you're going to think about this and let us know tomorrow? And when will you give the sets to them? When will you distribute the sets? When will you distribute the sets to the devotees?
Maharaj, we have the sets, the thrones. We have the sample here.
You're just waiting for the throne.
Yes, but we have these sample Maharaj. We can honor them with the Srimad Bhagavatam on the throne today and tomorrow. And then we can...
How many thrones do you have?
We have few Maharaj. So this one is like a sample Maharaj. So this is a sample, as devotees can see. There is a throne and Srimad Bhagavatam on it. The actual golden throne, which are very beautiful, are on their way from India, as Maharaj mentioned. They will be here in a week or so. And as I was saying, everybody was booking their thrones, so we could only manage 60 thrones. And the Srimad Bhagavatam sets are also available. So we can take the bookings and then deliver to devotees, or if you have gifts, if you can think of somebody who would like to gift, we can take orders for that and deliver to them on the day of Bhadra in advance.
If they don't want to do it, you will do it on their behalf.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
Yes, Maharaj, we can work with devotees however they prefer. But the sooner we know the orders and the addresses, the easier it will be.
So how many devotees are ready to commit to giving the set today? Okay.
Even Mahaprabhu is making a note.
And the rest of you can think about it. And any questions? Yes. Speak louder.
Can you help us to understand the nature of Vasudeva Vipra better? Like we may not take treatment for diseases so on.
It appears that Vasudeva Vipra was a very advanced devotee. And an advanced devotee doesn't care for the suffering. Even in the form of falling off his body, he would put it back. It appears that he did not care for that. The many sages, they don't take the medicine. Many times Prabhupada didn't take the medicine either. Okay.